Hi, good evening, and welcome to the second edition of Coffee with Zenzi. Tonight we are having quite an interesting topic to discuss. Tonight we want to find out, should a woman shoot her shot? The reason for that is we are still in the month of love, and we want to find out if there are still, 3 days left before the month ends. We want to find out if somebody has a crush, if a girl has a crush on a man, whether she can tell him what are the pros and cons, what's the protocol around that. And so I'm joined by my friend Annette and I'm also joined by my other friend, my very new friend Augustinus.
Yeah.
And we will just really be free-flowing tonight, trying to find out what the real thing is. I'll start off with telling you what I think is the answer. Will I shoot the shot? I have tried, and it backfired so badly that it really crushed my personality a little bit. So I thought, I'm not doing it again. And I've got reasons why I think it shouldn't be done. Firstly, I believe it makes a man very lazy. I'm a firm believer that the man should chase me. Right. I have some evidence as to why that should happen, but I won't touch on that right now. Yeah. Why do I think a woman should not shoot a shot? Well, first of all, I believe that a woman should be hunted. And people might now ask me, are you touching on societal norms and stuff like that? Let's discuss that. But yeah, I think I'll start with you, Annette. What is your opinion on that? Should a woman shoot her shot?
Look, I am on the fence about this. Because I don't want to go into, yes, they should or they shouldn't. Because what did not work maybe for somebody like you, worked for somebody. Because they shot their shot and the guy's like, yes, okay, cool, let's do this.
Yeah.
But then there's also like somebody like you, they did that and they were crushed.
Yeah, I know, I was crushed for that. I know, yeah.
So,
cool.
I think I do not have a problem with people shooting their shots, as long as you know, if you can handle the rejection that comes to that, then you know that, okay, cool, I'll be able to do it. And I don't think it's necessarily, like I think what is also shooting my shot also. If I ask you out for coffee, am I shooting out my shot?
Good question. Yes.
If I kind of invite my crush to like a thing, an engagement or a place where we can hang out with other people just for me to kind of get to know the person, that am I shooting my shot? Or is shooting my shot me asking you out directly, like those old days, old time things like, will you be my boyfriend, bruh?
Yes, no, maybe.
I don't know, like I think we need to, because some people are uncomfortable if a girl asks them out for coffee.
Yeah.
And that's like, no, you can't do that. A girl is not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because what is shooting my shot?
Yes.
Really, what is that? What does that look like?
So let me try and answer that, perhaps, because since it is the topic I came up with. And so with shooting your shot, I mean, should you, let's go old school style, so when I was in high school, we used to write little letters. There was no WhatsApp, there was no email. I think it was email, I can't remember. But you would write a little letter and you would say, would you be my girlfriend? And there were 3 boxes, yes, no, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
And then if you say yes, yay, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, we're doing this thing called relationship and so forth. And that's really what I'm trying to determine. Should a woman ask her man, like, listen, can you be my man? Can you be my husband? Can you be, that kind of thing.
Yes, I think, look, it depends on your situation, because some people are just riding along, like the guy is like riding them along and he is showing all the signs of, interest.
Okay.
He's just not saying it.
Yeah.
What is that? Because we are living in a society where we just, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes. I don't know if everybody has got that patience, has got that, I personally do not like a guy stringing me along. And we're vibing, we're liking each other, we're doing stuff together. and you're just not giving me a title.
Yes.
Bruh, like, I need to know who is I am in your life.
I like that. Who is I am in
You
your
know,
life?
like, I cannot be, like, so when we meet people, hi, this is Annette, you're what? Am I your mom? No, I'm not. Am I your cousin? No. Are we doing stuff? Yes. So who am I?
Right.
You know, so
right.
I maybe in the instance, if there's already been a vibe,
Yes.
and I'm confident enough to kind of, you know, withstand the rejection, I would go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Augustinus, what is your opinion?
I would slightly agree, and
with who now? Me and it.
with you and with her as well, and disagree. I think depending on the situation, on whom you are encountering,
Right.
we can then decide as to whether you can say, shoot your shot. There are these men who are laid back. They are interested in a person, but they just don't know how to say it. And you face that challenge, both of you, that none of you is coming forth to say what you are really feeling. And it makes it difficult and awkward at the same time, that if all of you have to embrace that, it will bring confusion, because if one of you get to be in a relationship, it will bring trouble to this other one.
You see.
So if you are in that situation, I believe find a way around it to shoot your shot. I believe women were meant to shoot shots.
They were?
Yes.
Okay.
But not in the same way as men do.
A
woman was built with power. It's a powerhouse.
Okay.
Just the physical anatomy of a woman is an influence on its own. So it makes it very, very, very difficult for a man to stand. The boldness that comes from the body, and also being able to say, I am interested in you.
You see.
So it's not that maybe men do not want these things, but when they look at the magnitude of influence, they wouldn't stand it.
Yeah. I hear you. Let me take this opportunity. So if you see me looking to the screen there, it's because I am in my coffee shop and we are screen sharing that side so I can see the live, my IG live followers. And so welcome to the show, guys. Liesl Mupeti has been quite active. She actually says that church guys shows, what did she say? I think she meant to say church guys. Yeah, they show all the signs and never say anything. You need to know what your position is. And Kanemon NN says, they agree with you, Annette. And then, Liesl is there. She's there by agreeing with Annette all the way. So that laugh. So I hear you on that point, Augustine. I think I like to reference a lot of my things to the Bible, and I remember and I like to teach with example as well. So one of my latest example is that I'm a mother to a boy and a girl, and this year my daughter was very brave enough to say, "Mommy, I'm gonna ask my crush to be my Valentine." What? I'm just like, what does it even mean? We can't even talk about that right now. And it really, the minute I answered that question, I thought, hey Lloyd. The minute I asked that question, I realized, but hey, am I conditioning her in a specific way? Because my kids are raised to ask questions because I don't want them to assume. So she's like, can you explain to me why I can't ask him to be my crush? My obvious answer was, you're too young to do that. I don't need that stress right now. But she made me think. Because the previous year, her brother was asked by his crush to be the Valentine. And she said, listen here, you can't even celebrate having a Valentine because you were asked by a girl. So this year she changed dynamics a little bit. And I hear what you're saying with that boldness of a woman. And I'm tempted, about 10% at this point in time, to take my words back and say, yeah, okay, maybe that's what crushed my spirit when I shot my shots. And this guy took just forever. Luckily, he won't know because he's on IT. Oh, but he'll be on YouTube. Oh, God.
If it's you, comment.
Amen, amen, amen.
Wow.
No, so for the first time, so let me, like I said, I teach with examples. Met this guy, and I was just, he is like everything. There's a song by Flo which that says, I want to paint his internals, because this guy was exactly what I thought was, you know. And then I remember having just met this guy, and I took a picture of his business card, and I texted my brother saying, yo, I think I've just met my next husband. And my brother said, okay, what does that look like? And then, so after the first night of meeting him, we were at this big conference, and then day 2, I'm like, listen, this is the story here, okay? So this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. Are you interested? And that guy literally did just that, what Mrs. Mupeti is talking about, strung me along for the longest time.
Right.
And then 1 minute he's in, the next he's out, and then I realized that perhaps I was too forward. In South Africa, they say, Papa, it means you are too forward, you know, and I feel sometimes that when you are that forward, the man expects that forwardness pretty much in everything.
Right.
And we are raised, if I go back to the Bible, we talk about submission and all of that. So that's when I feel the modern society starts struggling with submission.
Right.
So if I shoot the shot, how do I now not shoot the shot in everything else?
Right.
In marriage, for example, or in a relationship, or everything else, how do I not lead that if this very important thing I led?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's where I'm coming from. And then I know a lot of us are very used to the story of Ruth and Boaz.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. That is like the ultimate love story, right?
Yeah.
The Redeemer. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that. And then so I said, you see what Ruth did, led by her her mother-in-law. Yeah. Her mother-in-law said, honey, just show your intention.
Come on, girl.
Show your intentions. And this guy and that's what I was telling my daughter. You know what? Because she's adamant. Luckily, she listened to her mama and she never did the thing. But I think whenever a young lady comes my way, I'm like, I just show you intentions. Because the Bible does say, he who finds the wife, she who found her husband. So where do you lie on that? You know what I mean? Like, if you use both as examples of Ruth, kind of having halfway shot there. Made her intention very clear.
Right.
I had a discussion with my friends yesterday, and they said, she went to sleep at the bottom of his feet, and he lifted up his blanket. She said, no, I'm not interested. So, and this guy was like, but this girl, you know. So where do you take that? Like, Boaz thing, she was forward. So what is your opinion on that, Annette?
Look, I think again going back to Christian examples. We cannot forget the fact that there are people that, like you said, string people along. And we find that a lot in Christian circles. So if you talk about the Bible, we have to also go back to Christian circles.
Yes.
So I think sometimes in dating culture, people don't necessarily, I don't know if it's find guidance from the Bible, because that stringing along, where is that in the Bible?
No, it's I think that's life.
And then Joseph strung, Pharaoh's
Life chapter 1 verse 10.
Yeah, I think, I remember, and I shared that with you on Sunday, that we had this booklet called Finding Love That Lasts, at some point in, it was taking the story of Rebecca in, I think it's Isaac, how Isaac's father sent the servant to go find him a wife, and looking around and checking the girl that gives your camel water first, that's the person. And I mean, it sounded good on paper, but we are not giving camels water in 21st century. Yes, because there were principles that did work, but there were principles that crossed people. Because then it was, okay, did the person hear from the Lord? You must hear from the Lord, then you take 6 months to pray, and then, it was just, it was good because it worked at some point, but I think it did not entirely work. So I think when you look at biblical examples, don't take it word for word, because the Bible is very gray on it. right? It's not very clear, like as in, you must date for 6 months, don't hold hands, no kissing, those things. The Bible does not say that. It doesn't say women don't shoot your shot, but it does say, for example, because it was written in a matriarch, society, men were allowed to have property, men were having women as property, men were, allowed to find a wife. So in that reference, the Bible does say the man must obviously find a woman. But now, Christian brothers will come ahead from the Lord.
In what manner? Did he email you?
Yeah. You'll find that. I heard from the Lord that you are my wife. Brother. Which angel?
You heard the same from another woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is. I think you have to use common sense, but also at the same time, speak with people that are in your life concerning if you like somebody or if somebody comes to you and they like you. There is no, blueprint for this thing, but the thing is, just know that if you approach a person, and I know, like you said, men are like, they cannot withstand like women, and I know sometimes you come seductriously beautiful and, gorgeous in Western country, and then you are married, the person could not say no, and now you are stringing the relationship by yourself, and the person is not interested, and the person is not there with you, and the person is not giving their all as a husband, and you are there crushed because you're like, why am I with this person who's not interested in me? You know? So there is, I will still say, I'm on the fence about it because whether it's biblical or not, there's no, you can shoot or you can't. And my practical example is, the night I met my husband, we spoke the whole night.
And you knew that you knew.
When the guy opened his mouth,
you know that you knew.
I knew that I knew.
Okay.
When the guy opened his mouth, I said,
this one.
Let's put him on lockdown quickly. So then, I asked him for coffee that night. I said, let's meet for coffee. This conversation is sweet. Can we take it out from here?
But there was no Denz's coffee shop. Never mind. Okay.
Also, you. 8 years later into the relationship. So I did shoot my shot with asking him for coffee.
But you asked him on a date. Did you make your intentions clear? Because remember, that's basically what I'm trying to answer. I've asked, do you make your intentions clear? Hey, Egnago. Like, did you do that?
The pride in me, even though that night already, I don't know if like I was asking something, is it like at first sight? Yeah.
It was that name.
Yeah.
Because same with me. Like, it was like at first that I not the guy. I told him, and he was just like, no. Hey.
No, I'm not. No.
He liked the idea of this woman being so straightforward and so being papa and alafoot, and then he just, I really believe, and you nailed it when you said sometimes even that boldness intimidates a man. I like to use the scriptural reference of Ephesians 5:23, which is another big one that a lot of people hammer on when you talk about marriage and so forth. Now, they say, I love how the scripture was written because it says, man, love your wife, and husband, respect your wife, etc. And sorry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and love your wife, the wife.
Yes.
Submission.
And then the next one comes to submission, and it continues. And I really feel I know that if a man does not meet certain criteria with me, I lose respect. And that criteria would be provision. Because again, we expect our man to protect us. We expect our men to provide, etc. etc. I could be old school. Like that really is where I'm coming from. And I'm only in the ring now, so you are married. So if you, how does that dynamic work? Let's assume that you weren't married. I won't even ask you how that happened. But if your woman, at some point, she had to show her intention for you to go and say, hey, I'm gonna marry this woman eventually. So does that affect, because that statement you made about she's built with power. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay, before I elaborate, let's go back to what Annette said about the Bible is not clear. The Bible is actually clear. It expects you to read between the lines. Because a woman was built in a way that it distinguishes her from a man.
Mm-hmm.
One of these distinguishing factor is the hormones
Mm-hmm.
that you are built with. You have more hormones than we do.
Mm-hmm.
And those hormones are the one that brings attachment. So, for instance, oxytocin as a hormone that makes you to bond with a baby. When you are pregnant, a man have never been pregnant, they don't know these things. That's why we have to learn to be able to create that bond with the children. But for you, it comes natural.
Right.
Because of the hormones that are released. So now, because you can easily attach, therefore when you shoot a shoot, you can easily attach even if this shoot rejects you. So that's why God speaks about men finding a wife. But your shooting is actually, you mature earlier than the men. So the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself can shoot a man to an extent that they are paralyzed without you saying a word.
I don't have anything. He got paralyzed.
All the biblical context that talks about a husband and wife, Ruth is one of them, but you can remember Abigail and David. David is anointed king, but he's not given that authority. And there's this girl who is in the palace, the princess.
The daughter of the
princess, the daughter of the king. And then she sees the potential in this young man who is really, really equipped. And she shoots her shot by doing what only a woman who is prepared to be a wife can do. So she comes, console this man who is tired, give them water and give them food. So in a sense, it's very inviting to make this man feel, okay, I think I have found what I was looking for. But if you did not prepare yourself to be able to act in a certain way, it makes it difficult to even be noticed. When we are talking about the Holy Spirit will have shown me, God have withdrawn himself from having to find a wife for you. He have made it an option for him to just guide you on the finding. But a man must really work hard, and a woman must also work hard to be found. So this is why if a person wakes up and say, in the dream God brought me a woman, God wouldn't really be the one who have brought this. You have thought about it and you have desired it. Therefore, you see it in the vision even. So you look for a wife that God blesses or guide you to show you that maybe the character that you are seeing is just a mask. So you must see beyond that. That's what God can do. But finding a wife, it can't be able. Only it ended with Adam. It ended with Adam.
I believe that.
You need to have an effort. So that if it fails, it's not the blame
on God,
but on yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So the balancing of this whole thing, where there's submission, where there's, if you find that man who is able to behave according to how he was supposed to, it makes it easier for you to submit. You can't help but do what is right.
I like that because it's still pointing towards my point. Make your intention clear. Make your intention clear. It doesn't mean not going to say, hey, listen, I love you. It will mean, hey, are you thirsty? Some water here. Let's go to this coffee shop for coffee. Once. Twice even. The first time I might buy, and he will say, no, honey, I'll pay for you. You know. So make your intention clear. I love the referral to the, I can't pronounce that hormone somebody wrote out just now. That's one. The hormone. And I love what I will call her Mrs. Mupeti. It's a beautiful story. I'll have her on the show one day. But Mrs. Mupeti says, hey, the Holy Spirit is your plug.
Yeah.
I will not share their story, but it's a really beautiful story of literally that divine alignment and they knew when and how and so forth.
Yeah.
She made her intention clear. Abigail made her intention clear. I wonder why David didn't marry her, because he ended up with Satan and all those funny people.
No, he didn't marry actually.
He didn't? Never mind.
I think he did.
He did marry because he, yeah. She was the first wife.
Yes.
Even. Okay. Yeah, she made her intention clear. Yeah, so I like that. I think that is literally for me the landing for me. I know I'm being very biased because that's what I open up with, and the direction we're taking. Yeah. So I wanted to ask if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, sure.
You may not answer that question. How did you meet your wife, and how did you know? Did you know that you knew that she was the one? Did she know? Okay, she's not here. Let's talk to you.
Let's call the wife.
I'll put you on speaker.
You verify later when I'm off. We have been singing in the same choir.
Okay.
And I have observed the decency in her and how she carried herself. Whether she was doing that to get my attention, that is known to
she was making attention.
But I have seen the consistency in her that, at some point I realized it was not pretense at all. So that genuineness is what attracted me. So she shot her shot by behaving in a certain way. And then I was shocked.
You were shocked?
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, the keep it first. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. You were shocked. And for me, I know I'm circling around the point about showing intention, and I think it's a debatable thing. I will open up the floor to only a few. It's a very intimate group today, and I love that. And the live show is the live is quite busy. But I want to ask you again, Augustinus. In your life, I might put Lewis on the spot right now. I will not do that. And ask the question. I want you to elaborate a little bit on the woman was built with power and how that can be they call it a deterrent to the intention of long term. So that can you because I always say that I know the intensity I carry in terms of my personality and stuff like that. It's sometimes very difficult to manage. Yeah. So how do you like somebody I knew who said, I only have so much time in this area, and if he does not see my intention, I'm gonna lose this guy. Yeah. When I did the survey, some of them said, how else will this guy know if you don't show him the intention? 2 of my interviewees actually are happily married after shooting the shot. And shooting the shot meaning, listen, we've been doing coffee for far too long now. What is your intention? Mine is this. So how does somebody like me manage that and try and give subtle signs, subtle yet very intentional signs? From a guy's perspective.
She said it earlier, where after this guy has been hanging around for quite too long, and you don't know where you belong, you don't know your position. You are not a sister, you are not a mother, you are not an aunt.
Yeah.
You are not a pastor, neither a counselor or a teacher.
Yeah.
But you are playing all these roles. I think it's best not to really shoot a shot, but one of the good moments, you are out there and doing what you always do. Ask one question. Where to from here?
Right.
Where are we headed to? For how long is this going to happen? Are we? What kind of friendship are we having?
Yeah.
It's just questions so that you get the intention of the person.
Yeah.
Because if this person is not bold to be able to say it, I think that brings that breather in him to say, let me go rehearse a little bit and just gain my courage and say it.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, it becomes difficult, especially for those who are not built with that courage to be able to say it. But do not do it sooner. Observe. What hunters do, you don't go and you start shooting.
Right.
You use tactics. There's always delay in timing, in having to specify one specific animal out of all to be able to be shot. So that is what you need to do. That's what the woman was built to do.
Yeah.
You don't come, they show up, and then already shooting. You tiptoe until you are very close. And then you open up and say, here we are. Where are we going? I believe a man will be able to say something.
Right. Yeah.
But if you say, okay, I'm interested in you, it blocks every memory in them and they become blank. You have to start all over again because it's like it have reduced him to being someone who doesn't know what he wants in life.
Yeah.
And that's why they lay back and then say, maybe she must be able to lead the way.
Yeah. And I'm reminded, and I need to come back to you just now because that's actually the question I had for you because you touched on it. This thing of being strung along, in my opinion, it's usually also when us women we have this thing to play the role of a wife without even being that wife.
Yeah.
And so you are emotionally, literally opening yourself to somebody. You are there, doing all the kind of things that a wife's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why I'm not yet the wife. And then a lot of, I want to say studies, but I don't have the evidence for it, but I know that the stuff I've been reading would show that the guy has strung you along. Sometimes you find people who've been together for 10 years, dating and stuff. Then they get married and things just go completely wrong.
Right.
She played the role of the wife for far too long. What is your opinion on that? In that being strung along and then playing the role of the wife and and I guess also what do we mean with playing the role of the wife?
I think with women, it's built within us to want to be wives. Society has taught us to be wives.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that's why you see women are more committed to marriages than men, for example. Because we read all the books, we watch all the YouTube sermons or motivations about marriage, we go to psychologists, we are invested in making things work. So even in relationships, usually the women want to make things work. So she will commit herself, even though the guy is not necessarily fully committed. And so he sees the commitment and sometimes dangle the carrot of marriage in front of her for 10 years and gives herself in every way possible. And her hope is I just want to get married. And obviously it's not all the women, but majority of the women will be like, okay, he's not ready yet. And you? So many times women get stringed along doing the relationship, meeting the cousins, meeting the family, cooking, cleaning.
Playing makoti, even there you are with the fire. You are there, my friend, with that fixing makoti. Why are you there floating on
It is you.
Shem, it is you.
But you must be the main one because they know you like that. Chwara, let that thing, maybe it gives us something, Guys, no.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, no, let's not. Because, the thing is, it entangles you, especially when you cross the boundaries that you're not supposed to. Emotionally, we want to be validated that we are important, we matter, we're significant, we're wife material. Isn't that what African people say? She's wife material.
She's wife material.
No, I will prove
because
myself.
She's coming here. Your height, no. Yeah, I almost do the very example. I will get in trouble with that example, so I won't do that. No, you're quite right. I struggle to be that person because first of all, I don't. Yeah, okay, well, I know my persons might be there and they might say she's not wife material because she doesn't cook in the fire. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's not do that. Let's not do that unless you've asked him. what is it? Where are we going with this? And even so, I think let's put it in context until he sent his uncles.
Right.
Then I can go and
lobola.
you see, discussion was about lobola, and then because now you both shot your shot.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself for not tying my tongue on that, but look, I totally agree with you. Unless you have both showed your intention, and even so, until the uncles have sat, I'm not going to cook on a fire, guys. Like, I'm sorry, I won't do that. No, Kahneman is asking, is shooting your shot to get married? How about just getting to know each other and decide? What is,
Can I,
please?
I think everybody's different. For example, I wasn't like looking to play around. I'm not that type of person. If I meet you once, I don't like you, don't even try to shoot anything. You know? Even if you're like, you're playing hard to get, I'm not, I just don't want. You know? Some people are just like that, depends. Some, you know? So it's not shooting to get married, getting to know each other. I think sometimes people misunderstand the fact that you can actually make up your mind. You know, so when there's that indecisiveness, okay, let's get to know each other.
For how long though?
No, 10 years.
I know. Because, and that's my question. You know, somebody will, we spoke about marriage, for me, ultimate, being the ultimate goal. Because when you want to get to know each other, for what? What is, and then you know each other, and then what? Because if that was the case, how many people do you want to get to know, and for what? You know, so that's my personal opinion. I wish everybody could put like the real names, because Kahneman and I don't know how to answer you directly on that, but honestly, for me it is you get to know each other, yes, and then there must be a goal. What is your end goal? On that. I digress. I had a question here, but it's gone. Chopin, while you're at it. Any questions from the floor while we're at it? I love the interaction.
But before the chip in for the question, like you said, there should be a purpose in everything we do. I'm really saddened by the fact that we have reduced the life of human beings to guinea pigs. You know, you can't experiment on one's life. It must be purposive, and you cannot say, no, this time I'll play and then I'll be making up my mind sometimes later. You don't know what harm it will cause. Any interaction, it makes you to evolve, and your thoughts change. So don't do that. Don't do it.
Don't play games.
No, not with your life.
It's like playing suk here. So that's all
No.
And because women have made it so easy and cheap, we as men are misbehaving.
Chai. No, I think we have about 5 minutes remaining on the show, on this program. And I want to know from our audience, is there anything we'd like to add onto this discussion? My eyes on one specific person. I'm not going to look there, so I'm going to just randomly ask a question. No? Yes? No? Yeah. Yes? You do have a question. Yay!
So, there's been talk of guys stringing along girls and going on, and those old ladies shooting their shot. In the case where you get the courage, you shoot your shot, and just run along, or do you still put the blame on guys stringing along girls? Because the guy was sitting there,
minding his business.
You shot your shot, he likes what is in front of him. And he just so happens to be passing the street along. Are you then going to get the courage to tell him, hey, enough is enough, I have a life, I need to be married, so I'm cutting it off here? Because you're not serious, maybe find another person, or you're actually going to stick with it because you brought yourself to it.
Come on.
I think if you're bold enough to shoot your shot, you should be bold enough to leave.
Yes.
Because if you're stringing me along for longer than 2 weeks, honey, that's fake.
That's it. Thank you so.
Yeah, no, certainly. Go for what?
Yeah.
Why I say so, I actually have a friend who has 2 kids now because of such a situation.
Wait, hang on. Who the guy is singing along here and he got 2 kids? For a why? Because the lady initiated everything to get a baby and 2 babies.
Later.
No,
What you first
to
daughter?
say is that the lady must shoot the shot, right? And then now the lady got 2 kids while she's in this process. But now the guy is so relaxed, he doesn't want to marry. And then now he's just going along because this is the lady that initiated the whole situation. So we just go along. Because the guy doesn't have the same intentions that the lady had. I think that's the...
What does it sound like this friend is punishing this girl for shooting the shot?
But I think we need to be very clear that showing interest shouldn't be a punishment. There's nothing wrong to be interested in another human being because there's no any other way out. We can only be interested in other human beings. Now, what we need to do, where the purpose is not known, according to Miles Monroe, abuse is inevitable.
Inevitable. That's right.
So, you who shot a shot, what was the purpose? After you shot a shot, you can't relax. You need to keep up. You need to sustain that which you started. So if you can't sustain, other person will take you into their world and abuse you based on what they want to achieve in life. So I would advise that the woman shouldn't be desperate because a man is not God. We can only abide by God because He's just. But for a man, when they change their mind and they are unjust, then focus on the purpose of life.
Yeah. I love that answer. My friend Deshi, in the book that we launched last month, has a very, very beautiful line on that about purpose. She says, desperation kills the purpose. So I love that example of Miles Monroe because on purpose because he says everything has a purpose. Even cocaine has a purpose. When you misuse it, it becomes terrible. So desperation kills the purpose. But what I'm also getting here is you need, even if after you've made your intention clear, the intention that you're making clear must be guided by the purpose, right? I'm just going to read the comment here. I'm Lydia. Man or woman, shoot your shot and be prepared for whatever response you receive. A no cuts the losses early, and the yes is just a beginning of a relationship. I guess coming down to purpose again. I mean, if we talk about kingdom marriages and kingdom partnerships and all of that, even in business. When you shoot that shot, I know we're digressing here, but it's the same thing. If the purpose is not clear, it will just be abuse. It will just become a nasty. That one, yes. I was going to say cup of coffee, but because we don't have nasty cup of coffee in this world, we do. But yeah. So I love that. I never actually thought this conversation would go to that point, but I mean, I feel sorry for your friend who's in a terrible situation because she's strung along, or rather she shot her shot, and for me it sounds like you lead everything, and that is my problem with shooting your shot in today's current society, because they be like, women empowerment, you all want to be on top there and everything, and now you want to lead me. And it pains me immensely when I see such relationships where the woman takes the lead in pretty much everything, because I guess I won't even bring it down to personality, but because I feel in this case, I can't believe that but maybe I'm judging, I shouldn't do that. Anything from you, Annette?
Is it closing remarks?
Wait, let's see. Yes, we've got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think I will still say, because of the anatomy of people and how they are, you will find. So I will continue being on the fence because you will shoot your shots, you will get married, and the person will change, or the person will take a lead, Or, you know, the person, some men who shoot their shot, they like what they see, they go for it, and they appreciate what they have, and then in the marriage they relax. So whose fault is that? She didn't shoot the shot, or shoot the shot, whatever. So I think it's just that finding, you know, for me it's learning to find balance and understanding that human beings are completely different, whether man or woman. You know, and yes, the purpose needs to be made known, but sometimes people even know purpose and they just abuse, even if they know purpose, or even if they perceive the purpose. So, in that regard, I will always be on the fence about it. Just read the situation, know the person, and kind of just take your time to study what you want to get yourself into. If you're not afraid of rejection, go for it. If you are, don't. Just maybe try and play the deer and let him chase you, and at some point he will maybe make his intentions known. And I think it's like even men, I mean, I'm sure some of them are also scared of rejection as well when they shoot their shot, you know. But for women it's probably more crushing. I don't know, I'm assuming, but I'm assuming. Okay. But I think, you know, for me it's always a gray area. It's always a gray area. Some people are married, the man is leading, some people are not together because the woman shot the shot, you know, so there is still that grayness about it for me.
Any closing remarks from you, Augustinus?
For me, as a woman, you are permitted to shoot your shot, but do it in a woman way. And men do the same in the man's way. Now, the only thing that we shouldn't be afraid of what others will be able to do. You don't have control of how this person would think, but do what is right from your side. If the other person messes up and you try to correct, the Bible states it. If you have a brother or a sister, you try to correct them, it's not working. What you do, you treat them like the people you have never known, like strangers. So if this person have been in love and fallen out of love, so don't keep them in because they are already out. So shoot your shoot and see how far it will take you, but never forsake your purpose, because that is a guide. And never be desperate for anything, because life is bigger than that specific individual.
So what I'm getting then, in conclusion, is that as my friend on IG just asked, do you shoot your shot for marriage? Or I can't remember the rest of the question, but I guess what I'm getting is purpose. So make your intention known, and so I guess for that is because you asked, can we not shoot your shot to get to know each other first? So shoot your shot. And you will know that you know. Right? You will know that this is the person, and I think then, and after that, marriage will follow almost, well, I don't know if it's immediately, but if you know whether you know, after whoever has shot the shot, that union will be because of purpose. Right? So it's intention, make the intention known. Once the intention is known, because the hearts will, I think, do bumuka things, and they will be together, and you will know that this is my person. And I guess it will be easy, even when the uncles are sent, or whichever family will be going. And then even, I mean, I think even to go and play the Makoti role, I guess close to the time will, because your heart will be in the right place. The purpose will be there, it will be clear. But again, as Nteshi Jamison says in the book, which by the way is still available here for $200, Process to Promise. But she said desperation kills purpose, and the many people, when you start hearing about the biological clock is ticking and all of that, you literally will shoot your shot at pretty much anything, and then say yes to pretty much anything, and then sit in a case where you are in total abuse because you have shot your shot. Guys, thank you very much. This was brilliant. I think there's still so much to go. When the minute you said do it in a man way and a woman way, I'm thinking, define that, but we don't have time for that. Because, I mean, but what is that? But I don't know if I can continue on that question, but honestly, that is the three landings. There has to be purpose. if purpose is there, the intention will be very clear. So if I go and I wink my eye at you and you'll check me out, because we also know men take very long to respond. I might, because it's my shot and do these things. I'm reminded of I watched this animal. We were in the game park, and then we saw this beautiful scene where a springbok. When a springbok woman is ready, well, the female springbok woman, the female springbok, she literally has a dance display.
Wow.
Or rather, I think it's the other way around. They come and they jump and they do their things, and she will know which springbok she will go home with.
Yeah.
Like literally, this is the one I'm gonna go.
Like
do you understand? So that basically for me is, you will know that you know that when you have shot your shot,
Yeah.
it has landed in the right heart.
It's even easier in the animal kingdom. Every animal, it's the female that initiates, not men.
Guys,
so there's a hormone
on
released
its own.
There's a hormone released in the atmosphere when the season has come, and that hormone can only be released by a female. Then male will follow that smell or that sense.
Really? Well, yeah. I mean, yes. Wow. Yes. Before I have you all here for the rest of the night, I'm going to end it right here. Thank you so much. Many thanks to Caroline and to Emma for very diligently shooting the beautiful shot. And my lovely audience, very intimate, very close. I'm so grateful to my staff for being here for the rest of the night. You are warmly rewarded for this. So until the next episode next month, this is Coffee with Zinzi signing out. Thank you. Wow, thanks guys. That was awesome.